A black woman couldn't afford bread for her daughters until a millionaire recognized her and changed her life forever. This isn't the place for people like you. Go beg somewhere else. Manager Mitchell's voice echoed through Sunrise Bakery, making every customer turn and stare. 32-year-old Maya Williams gripped the hands of her two little girls and took a deep breath. What Mitchell didn't know was that she was quietly recording every degrading word her phone tucked discreetly inside a half-open purse. Once a nurse laid off when the hospital downsized, Maya knew exactly how discrimination worked, and this time she wouldn't walk away with her head down. "Mr. Mitchell, I just asked if I could pay for the 2 loaves of bread tomorrow." "The bank temporarily froze my card," she explained with remarkable calm. Emma, age 6, and Sophie, age 4, stared up at the man yelling at their mother, confused by the cruelty in his voice. Temporarily, Mitchell laughed loud enough for the whole bakery to hear. "For people like you, it's always temporary. Look at the clothes you're wearing. Do I look like I was born yesterday?" Maya noticed a few customers quietly pulling out their phones to film. Perfect. The more witnesses, the more powerful the reckoning. "It's just 2 loaves for the kids," she said, steadying her voice while mentally planning every step. "I work nearby. I can come back and pay first thing in the morning." "Where?" "The gas station." Mitchell burst out laughing again, glancing around the bakery for approval. "Listen up, princess. This is a business, not a charity. If you want free food, there's a donation center on 15th Street. What Mitchell didn't notice was the well-dressed black man sitting silently in the corner watching everything unfold. His hand trembled as he held his coffee, his eyes narrowing with a quiet fury, the kind only someone who had once endured the same humiliation could recognize. Maya knelt to her daughter's level and whispered gently, "Come on, girls. We'll find a place with kind people." Then she rose, locking eyes with Mitchell. "Have a nice day, sir. I hope it's worthy of the man you are." Mitchell didn't catch the sting in her words. He was too busy posturing in front of his customers, unaware he had just signed the death warrant for his own career. As the three of them walked out of the bakery, the man in the corner got up and quietly followed. There was something about Maya, her composure, her unshakable dignity, the way she shielded her daughters, that stirred something deep in him. A memory, a scar, and a fire for justice that never truly went out. If you're drawn to stories of prejudice and unexpected turnarounds, don't miss what comes next. Because what happens after this becomes the kind of revenge people talk about for years. A spectacular downfall that began with nothing more than a loaf of bread. 3 hours after the bakery incident, Maya discovered the public humiliation she endured was only the beginning. Mitchell had uploaded a video to the Sunrise Bakery's Instagram story, security footage from the incident, along with a caption that read, "When you've got to protect your business from customers who want everything for free. Ha, to reality, hashtag don't beg." The video had already gathered over 200 views and dozens of comments, from laughing emojis to praise for the brave businessman who refused to be taken advantage of. Maya silently watched it all unfold on her phone while her daughters played in the tiny apartment she shared with her elderly mother. "Mummy, why was that man so mean to us?" Emma asked, pulling Maya out of her thoughts. The 6-year-old had an incredible memory and was still trying to process what she'd witnessed. "Some people turn cruel when they shouldn't, sweetheart. But don't worry, I'm going to take care of this." Maya kissed her daughter's forehead, though deep inside a cold fury was starting to rise. Mitchell had no idea he'd picked the wrong woman to humiliate. With 12 years of experience as an emergency nurse, Maya had a rare gift. She could read people in seconds, spotting liars, manipulators, or threats through micro-expressions and body language alone. That very skill had drawn her attention to the sharply dressed man in the corner of the bakery. He wasn't just sipping coffee. He was watching with the intensity of someone who had once endured injustice. Clenched fists, tightened jaw, eyes locked on Mitchell, all signs of simmering rage. That evening, while checking her empty bank account, Maya received a call from an unknown number. "Maya Williams, this is David Chun from the law firm Chen and Associates. I witnessed what happened today at Sunrise Bakery, and I'd like to speak with you." David Chun, she knew that name. One of the city's most respected civil rights attorneys, known for winning multi-million-dollar lawsuits involving racial discrimination. But how did he know her name, Mr. Chun? I can't afford a lawyer, she admitted honestly. "Who said anything about hiring me?" he replied. "I'm talking about justice. And I have a friend, also a witness from today, who's eager to support this case. Can we meet tomorrow?" Meanwhile, at home, Mitchell was celebrating with his wife, smug over the attention his post had received. Look at this, babe. So many likes. People appreciate when someone stands firm. I bet this'll bring in more customers, people who respect rules. Donna Mitchell laughed. You're amazing. People like that woman need to learn a lesson. Nothing in life is free. What the couple didn't realize was that every share, every comment was being screenshot by Maya, one by one. Her years of experience documenting complex medical records were now being channeled into something new, building an airtight case file. The next morning, Maya met David Chun at an upscale cafe downtown. He was an Asian American man in his early 40s, immaculately dressed, known for never losing a discrimination case. Your situation is a textbook example of racial and socioeconomic profiling, David said, reviewing the digital evidence Maya had collected, especially Mitchell's social media posts. Mitchell essentially confessed online to discriminating against you just because you looked poor. But I really didn't have money on my card that day, Maya admitted softly. David smiled. That's irrelevant. The law protects your right to be treated with dignity, regardless of your financial situation. More importantly, you weren't begging. You offered a legitimate commercial agreement for the following day. Mitchell's refusal was entirely rooted in bias. At that moment, a man approached the table, tall, black, impeccably dressed, with a presence that turned heads. Maya recognized him immediately, the quiet man from the bakery. Maya David said, "This is Marcus Thompson, CEO of Thompson Enterprises and one of the most influential figures in the city. More importantly, someone who deeply understands what you went through." Marcus extended his hand with a warm yet resolute smile. "Maya, it's a pleasure to officially meet you. Yesterday, watching that scene unfold, I saw myself at 8 years old watching my mother being humiliated in a store just like that. The only difference is, today I have the resources to make sure it never happens again." Maya shook his hand, feeling a powerful energy radiating through his grip. For the first time since the incident, she didn't feel alone in this fight. Mitchell made 2 fatal mistakes. Marcus continued, his eyes flashing with a kind of resolve that made Maya instantly understand how he'd become so successful. First, he underestimated you. Second, he recorded his own discrimination for the entire world to see. And now we're going to use that in a way he'll never forget. Every cruel word Mitchell had spoken, every mocking laugh caught on camera, every bigoted comment on social media, all of it was becoming ammunition not just for revenge, but for total devastation. And what satisfied Maya most was that Mitchell was still online, proudly bragging about it all, completely unaware that a storm was quietly gathering. That Monday morning after the cafe meeting, Maya woke with a new sensation. For the first time in months, her anger had transformed into something colder, calculated determination. Her daughters were off to school. Her mother was busy with chores. And Maya had the entire day to deploy every skill she'd mastered as a nurse observation documentation strategy. Marcus had sent her a short message. Mitchell's got patterns. Check Sunrise Bakery's socials over the past 2 years. Look for similar incidents. It took Maya 3 hours to comb through every post, every comment, every archived story on Instagram. What she found stirred a mix of fury and hope. Mitchell wasn't just discriminatory by accident, he was a systematic social predator. In September last year, a Latina woman publicly complained that employees followed her around the store. Mitchell replied, "Sorry if you felt uncomfortable, but our staff are trained to monitor suspicious behavior." The woman never responded again. In March, a black teenager questioned why security stopped him for wearing a backpack while white teens came and went freely. The boy's post was taken down after Mitchell threatened a defamation lawsuit. In June, an elderly woman claimed that staff hid fresh loaves when she walked in. Mitchell personally replied, "Perhaps you should shop somewhere better suited to your budget." Each case documented, each reply defensive, even aggressive, each victim silenced or intimidated. Maya created a detailed spreadsheet, applying her nurse's instinct for order and precision to a battle far bigger than patient care, the fight against injustice. On Tuesday, David Chun called Maya with news that was both encouraging and sobering. "I've made contact with 17 people who had similar experiences at Sunrise Bakery over the past 3 years. 15 of them are either minorities or appeared financially disadvantaged." But David paused, voice low. "They're all afraid to testify publicly." Why Maya asked, though, in her gut, she already knew the answer. Mitchell has money. He's filed 3 defamation suits in the past 2 years. He lost all 3, but the defendants spent thousands on legal fees and endured months of emotional stress. Maya felt the first real obstacle in her path to justice. Without witnesses, her case would become one person's word against another's. Mitchell had engineered a perfect system of silent oppression. But just then, Marcus delivered their first strategic breakthrough on Wednesday. Maya Sunrise Bakery isn't fully owned by Mitchell. He's just a minor shareholder in an investment group called Heritage Foods Holdings. The majority stake belongs to Robert Sterling, a wealthy businessman who cares deeply about public image. Further investigation revealed more. Robert Sterling was a prominent philanthropist known for funding diversity and inclusion programs in major corporations. His wife, even more notably, was the president of a nonprofit dedicated to fighting racial discrimination. The cruel irony, the very man who had been fighting against systemic racism had unknowingly been funding a business where it thrived. Sterling had no idea about Mitchell's actions. Marcus continued. He's invested in dozens of ventures and leaves local operations entirely in the hands of his managers. But if he ever found out, he's fighting injustice in public and financing it in private. For the first time in weeks, Maya allowed herself a genuine smile. Now she had a plan layered, strategic, and precise. Not only to expose Mitchell, but to dismantle the very structure he relied on to stay in power. On Thursday, Maya received a call she hadn't expected. It was Jessica, the young employee who had witnessed the entire scene at the bakery. Her voice trembled over the phone. "Ms. Williams, I need to talk to you about what happened that day. They met at a coffee shop far from Sunrise Bakery." Jessica, 22, looked nervous but determined. She pulled her phone from her bag. "I recorded everything. Mitchell doesn't know I was filming a TikTok for the store when you walked in. I caught the whole interaction, including the things he said that were clearly discriminatory." Maya sat frozen. "Why are you sharing this?" she asked quietly. Jessica looked down, voice soft. "My sister's Black, she's adopted. And I've seen Mitchell treat people like that before. I always thought someone should do something, but I never had the courage. Until now." The footage was crystal clear, the audio sharp, unedited, every slur, every sneer, every people like you all captured on video. But most importantly, the entire clip showed Maya being calm, respectful, and polite from start to finish, completely shattering any claim that she had been disruptive or disrespectful. "Jessica, do you realize this could cost you your job?" Maya asked sincerely. Jessica nodded. "I do, but I've already applied somewhere else. And," she smiled shyly, "some things are more important than a job." When David Chun saw the footage, he nearly jumped out of his seat. "Maya, this is gold, not just racial discrimination. This shows a pattern, a systemic issue." Marcus was just as fired up, but for another reason. "Now we can go to Sterling with solid proof. No reputable investor wants their name tied to something this blatantly racist." Mitchell wouldn't just lose his job, he could lose his entire future. On Friday, as Maya finalized the legal documentation with David, her phone buzzed with a message that made her laugh out loud. Mitchell had posted another story. This time he wrote, "Sometimes troublemakers try to smear honest businesses with baseless accusations. But truth always wins, and good people know who the real victims are, and who's just seeking attention." Mitchell was so confident he was practically confessing his arrogance publicly. Each post only strengthened their legal case. The meeting with Robert Sterling was scheduled for Monday. David had secured the appointment. Marcus had used his network to ensure other key investors in the firm were also made aware. Jessica had agreed to testify, especially after landing her new job. That night, as Maya tucked her daughters into bed, she felt something she hadn't in months. Hope not built on outrage, but on strategy. Emma looked up at her mother with wide eyes. "Mom, you look different, happier." "I'm dealing with something, sweetheart, and I think I've finally found the way." Monday morning. Inside a high-rise glass office overlooking the city center, an emergency internal meeting of Heritage Foods Holdings officially began. In the expansive boardroom around a 10-meter-long walnut table sat 7 individuals: Robert Sterling, the principal investor; Marcus Thompson, attending as a special guest and strategic partner; David Chun, legal representative for Maya Williams. Maya no longer in a faded t-shirt or carrying timid eyes, but in a minimalist business suit radiating quiet strength; 4 minority shareholders; and finally, Mitchell, still in his pale gray suit, sitting with his signature arrogant posture. "I really don't understand what any of this has to do with me," Mitchell said sarcastically. "I manage a bakery, A customer caused a scene, and now you're holding an emergency meeting because of her absurd. Sterling, the same man who had poured millions into anti-discrimination programs, placed his hand flat on the table and spoke slowly. Mr. Mitchell, before you sits Mrs. Maya Williams, whom you denied service based solely on her appearance and perceived social status. Beside her is attorney David Chun and entrepreneur Marcus Thompson here as a witness. Mitchell scoffed. Oh, you brought a lawyer and a philanthropist. Was that really necessary? Marcus said nothing. He calmly placed a USB drive on the table, met Mitchell's eyes, and said, on this USB is a video recorded by one of your former employees. It captures the full conversation you had with Maya Williams, along with your social media posts, your remarks, and other documented incidents. You didn't just harm this woman, you've compromised the entire investment network you represent. Sterling pressed play. The room fell into a chilling silence as Mitchell's voice rang out crystal clear. What's someone like you doing in this bakery? Can't you see you're making our other customers uncomfortable? We're not a soup kitchen for poor single mothers. Then Maya's voice followed, soft but firm. I'm not asking for money. I was just wondering if you could set aside a loaf of bread for my daughters. I can come back to pay tomorrow morning. We have nothing to eat tonight. Then came Mitchell's mocking laughter, sharp, cruel, unmistakable. Sterling leaned back in his chair and removed his glasses. You've tarnished our name, Mr. Mitchell. Another shareholder spoke up. I can tolerate a strict manager, but someone who subjects us to a racial discrimination lawsuit with video evidence, that's unacceptable. Mitchell began to sense the chill in the room. He tried to push back. So, what now? You're going to fire me. I'm a shareholder. David responded, his tone even unwavering. Sir, under Heritage Holdings employment policy, any manager whose actions severely damage the company's public image can be terminated and compelled to sell back their shares, Marcus added. And I've already spoken to 3 major news outlets. Once this case goes public, they'll publish everything, your words, your posts, and what you've done to vulnerable people. Mitchell could no longer sit upright. He slumped in his chair, face pale. The same man who once threw a struggling mother out of a bakery now sat helpless before those far more powerful than he'd ever imagined. Sterling gave a slight nod. A secretary entered the room and placed a folder on the table. This is your resignation agreement. If you sign it, we will not release the video publicly. If you refuse, the lawsuit proceeds within 24 hours and will call a press conference. The choice is yours. Mitchell stared at the papers. His hand trembled. There was no path left, no arrogance to lean on. Only the name of a man about to be erased from every respectable investment circle. He signed. No one clapped. No one said goodbye. Only the faint sound of the wind moved through the tension-filled boardroom. As Maya stepped out of the building, she paused briefly, letting the sunlight fall across her face. Not the light of triumph, but the light of peace. David placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. You didn't just reclaim your dignity. You just protected dozens of people from ever being humiliated like that again. Marcus stepped forward and handed over a business card. I'm building a community initiative supporting women of color in launching their own businesses. If you're willing, I'd like to offer you the role of regional program coordinator. Maya was stunned. I never thought I could do anything that important. Marcus smiled. To endure to fight and to rise, that's worth more than any degree. That evening, Maya returned home. Her daughters ran up to her, wrapping their arms around her waist. Mama, did you win? Maya held them tight. No, sweetheart. I didn't just win. I just opened a door for hundreds of others to walk through. 3 months later, Maya Williams walked into a space completely unlike anything she'd known before. No more the exhausted corridors of hospitals. No longer a bakery where she was met with scorn. This was a startup support center for women, and Maya was now officially the regional coordinator under the sponsorship of the Thompson Foundation. A sign at the front read, Empower Her Initiative, where hope begins. In a small room at the back, 3 women sat as Maya guided them through financial planning, building credit profiles, and how to defend themselves against the invisible barriers of discrimination in the business world. One had been a janitor fired for being not polished enough. Another had worked as a welder, the only woman among 50 men. And one had just been called a beggar by a restaurant manager for asking for an extra sauce packet. Maya listened. No judgment, no lectures, just empathy and action. because she knew every woman who walks through that door carries an invisible war within her. And Mitchell, after being dismissed and forced to sell his shares at a loss, his name vanished from the industry. 1 month later, the video leaked on a human rights forum, sparking an online uproar. No company would touch him. In a brief, bitter interview, he muttered, "All this. Over a cheap loaf of bread, I lost everything." And then came the flood of comments. It wasn't the bread, Mr. Mitchell. It was the contempt that came with it. As for Maya, she didn't become wealthy from what happened. She wasn't famous. But each week she received dozens of letters from women who had once been humiliated, who had once believed they weren't enough, who had once swallowed their tears in silence. One letter read, "You stood up not just for yourself, but for all of us who had no camera, no lawyer, and no one to witness our pain. Thank you for not staying silent." One quiet Sunday afternoon, Maya and her daughters passed the old Sunrise Bakery. It had a new name, a new sign, Sunrise Reimagined, bread for everyone. The new manager was a young black woman. When she saw Maya, she smiled and waved. "You're the reason I got this job." Maya simply smiled back. No need for recognition, no reporters, just the quiet knowing that one loaf of bread back then had blossomed into hundreds of new beginnings. That night she lay between her daughters. One of them asked Mama, "What are we eating tomorrow?" Maya gently stroked her daughter's hair. "Cinnamon rolls. But this time we'll make them here at home. And I'll teach you how. One day those who once went hungry won't just have food. They'll know how to build their own ovens. All it takes is one person to start. Like the mother of 2 little girls once thrown out of a bakery because she didn't have enough for a loaf of bread." Thank you for watching. Don't forget, like the video if you believe justice can come from the smallest voices. Subscribe so you never miss more powerful and true stories like this one. Comment if you've ever stood up for someone you love even when no one else believed you.